Okay, hello people. Tuko live pale, live link. Mi naitwa Dhura, wenye hawajai ni cheki hapa. I'm standing in for Mr. Karaya Munyi, who is our host every Wednesday. Amechelewa mahali but he'll be joining us. Na nakaribisha kila mtu kwa hii forum. Ni forum yetu. Let's continue talking about the issues zenye zinatu affect kama young people and the humanity, and nawakaribisha sana kwa hii session, na let me thank you all because I've been following the session nikiwa huko background. Honestly hata mimi inanisaidia. Every Wednesday I'm different. Okay, now I can hand over the conversation to Jane, maybe to start introducing our guests. Tujiintroduce kiasi wasio wachangamke watujue. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Welcome all. Maybe we can start by
Jane?
yourself, Thura. You introduce yourself.
Hello, Jane.
Hello, Thura.
Okay, Queen B, you can take over.
Okay. Hi everyone, you know me, I've been here since like the last 3 Wednesdays. So I'm Queen B, I'm an artist. Yes, a life coach and a mental health enthusiast. So I'm happy to be here. Yeah, let's enjoy the session.
My name is Edwin. Kunao uniita Dhura, kunao uniita Edu. I'm a creative.
Dhura, we seem not to hear you.
We can go on with Irene.
Hello guys, I'm Irene Kendi. This is my first time being here and ndio tumeanza, but I feel like I'm really... Yeah, I'm a life coach and a mental wellness coach also.
Hello, Irene.
Hello.
You can't hear me? Me or Irene?
We can all hear you, Dhura.
You can hear us?
Yes, we can hear you.
Dhura, can you hear me?
Okay, now we can continue the conversation, Queen. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I can. Yeah, I can hear you all, so we can continue the conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
Okay, my name is Jane. My name is Jane Joker. I've worked for many years. I've done banking. Currently, I'm doing psychology. I'm quite passionate about mental health. So maybe Irene and Queen B, we can move on with today's topic. Today's topic is a continuation of last time. Irene, you're not with us, but we talked about addiction. And maybe Queen B can do a recap on last week's session. A short recap, Queen B.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we were talking about addiction and the different types of addiction. And I remember us defining addiction as the dependence on a certain substance or a reoccurrence of a certain behavior, because we defined addiction into 2 groups, which is the behavioral addiction and the substance addiction. Yeah,
Yes.
so on defining the types of addiction, we had very many different types of addiction. That is when it came to video games, porn addiction, exercise addiction, gambling, work addiction, social media addiction, cell phone addiction, internet addiction, pain addiction. There's a lot of different types of addictions that we handled. And we
Yes.
also looked at the symptoms of addiction. That is, we saw that people who are addicted to something tend to have these symptoms, which are too much, spending too much, using a certain substance, or engaging in a certain behavior. We saw the inability to quit. There is the relationship or work or school problems. We have the increased tolerance, withdraw upon quitting, you know. So we handled, I think, a broad bit of it. So today we can maybe go into the details. I think where we didn't handle much was on the social media and how it makes addiction, or how it influences us to certain addictions. So I guess over the weekend I got a question on the actual difference between habits and addictions, so we can actually maybe take the conversation from there.
Habits and addictions, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Irene, I don't know
I
what
checked a bit on it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, checking a bit on it, I can maybe give you a synopsis of what I had learned, which is habits are, habits are this when it comes to habits, I think we can control ourselves. Habits are controllable, but when you lose control over the habit, that is when it becomes an addiction. Habits are as a result of the mental activity. And habit is something that you get used to doing, and your brain in adjust. So an habit is controlled by the mental activity. But when it comes to an addiction now, it affects the mental stability, because addictions negatively impact your day-to-day life, and you feel like you can't stop. But I think with habits, we can say, though habits can lead to addictions, habits are controllable. But when you lose control over the habit, that is now when it becomes an addiction.
Oh, that's a nice one. Thank you. That's a nice one, Queen B. Irene, you can hear me?
Yeah,
What do you
sure.
mean by addiction?
Okay. My understanding of addiction is something that you're unable to control, the inability to control or to have control over something. And addictions can cause psychological or physical harm. On the other hand, habits are things that we are used to doing. And habits can be, we have good habits and we have bad habits.
Yes.
Yeah. Good habits do not cause any harm, but bad habits can cause any harm. And as Quinbia said, when you don't have control over the habits, some of them can become addictive. Yeah.
Thank you. What came up last time was so much on alcohol and substance abuse. And today I want us to maybe talk more about alcohol and substance abuse. Well, it is that if you are a social drinker, then you shorten your lifespan by 12 years. That is statistics. And we know there are many things that affect us, especially in our country. We have the alcohol, we have the wind, we have the heroin, cocaine. We have a forming habit that is coming now to abuse a corpse lab. I don't know whether you have seen it. It is very common in West Africa, where there is this drug that is called, I think, codeine, something like that. Yes, codeine. We have things like meth in the US. You've seen that. But in our case, let us address the alcohol and the substance abuse that we normally know about. Maybe Queen B, you can talk about that. You can start us off.
Okay. Well, on alcohol abuse, we can start by saying what you just said. So, social drinking is an aspect that we face. Of course, as long as we have friends. As long as we have friends, it is an aspect of life that we have to address. But we need to remind ourselves that you see, with taking drugs, this is affecting you and not your friends, because this should be a personal decision. Social drinking should not be a habit that you cannot say no to, because you find most of us cannot say no to our friends, because we'll be considered as the buzzkill. You'll be considered as the one who's killing the party. So you find that most of us engage, even if we don't want to, but because we want to impress others. So I think the first thing that we have to do is to love ourselves, because when you love yourself, you cannot submit yourself to such peer pressure and such. So, like, for once, you need to know that you need to identify that this is now becoming an habit which might grow into an addiction. So you need to be able to identify when it's time to say no to maybe these social groups and social engaging. On the other hand, when it comes to alcohol and mostly these substances that are relating closely, that is weed and, let's say, cigarettes, because cigarettes are also actually the most addictive drug is usually tobacco. Most of the times you find that most people find it really hard to stop smoking because of the side effects. They're usually very, very intense. So you need to ask yourself, like, why do you need this particular drug? Why are you consuming it? Because if it is because you are stressed, then you need to identify the source of your stress. There is this thing that we call rational emotive behavior therapy. This is where you need to recognize the negative thoughts that always give you the urge to consume or to do these things. You need to combat, you need to get to recognize those negative thoughts, and then you can develop ways to combat them, because these are usually what lead us to relapsing. Even if you decide that you're not going to drink, maybe you're going to hold it together today, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow, the same negative thoughts will come back to you, and that is how you find yourself relapsing. So you need to think what lies within yourself that is related to those external situations or that lead to the stressors that lead you to drinking. So alcoholism and substance abuse mostly should be a situation that you identify within yourself, because these are substances that you're consuming personally and within yourself. Another thing I would also say, like, we should try contingency management, which is reinforcing your positive behaviors and avoiding those negative behaviors. And whenever you can avoid taking, maybe, let's say, the alcohol that you so used, let me give you an example. Like, let's say you used to hang out over the weekend with your friends. You can decide that if I curb this behavior, I'm going to be rewarding myself. So it's usually abroad, you'll hear them calling it the sobriety. So if you can maintain it, if you can reward yourself after you have curbed this behavior for the first time, the second time, the more you reward yourself, the more you will be more enthusiastic towards achieving your sober goal. So I would say alcoholism, like I said, is and substance abuse should be something that we identify first ourselves.
Thank you, Queen B. Vincent, welcome.
Probably I can add by
yes, Queen B.
Okay. Oh, I wanted to, I thought you couldn't hear me. I wanted to add and say that when it comes to alcohol and substance abuse addiction, there is a way to identify. There is the 3 C's of how to identify mostly that you are into this thing. The first C is the craving. You need to identify how you crave. Is it the compulsive use that you're craving, or is it the general use? You know, there is a difference between the drug use and the drug abuse. When it comes to abuse, I think that is where now we have the addiction. So you need to identify the craving, what sort of craving you have. And then we have the continued use despite the consequence, you know. You use even if you can feel like this thing is hurting me, it's affecting my body, you realize you continue using despite the consequence. And then we have the lack of control. That is, you cannot control the frequency of how many times you take it, and you cannot control the amount that you're taking. So those are the 3 C's that can help you realize that you're heading towards the wrong direction. That is craving, and that is continued use despite consequence, and then control, lack of control. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Queen B. Vincent, welcome. You can hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you, and welcome. Last time I think it was Guantai, you explained quite well the scientific hormone, the dopamine. Can you explain to us again? I know you got it. The feel-good hormone, what it does, how, yeah.
Good evening to everyone and the entire Iko family. It is awesome to be back here. My sincere apologies. Last week I had technical issues that I wasn't able to come back. I think Guantai mentioned about dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter, and it is a good feeling hormone. Basically, the hormone that allows us to reward ourselves when we do something. And what you mentioned is that when you get used to something too much, like a video game or alcohol, it disrupts the chemical itself being released into your body. And that means you need more of dopamine so that you can feel the right level of pleasure. So you end up abusing, or you end up using something to trigger the natural production of that dopamine hormone.
Yes.
Yeah, so, I think I've,
Our continued triggering, what does it do to our bodies?
Ideally, what it does is that there's a natural way of the production. Yes. When you do something, there's that chemical imbalance when you get addicted to something. So that means you have to trigger it maybe with alcohol, with the video game, trying to numb your senses anyway.
Oh, thank you, thank you for that. So at least we understand that one from the scientific aspect of it. That you don't have to say it is because of MBCD, it is, you know, the African in us is too much. Well, Irene, if I would ask, what makes, in your opinion, or in your, where you sit, what makes the young people really indulge in these things? Alcohol, the substance abuse? And when I talk young, maybe I'm talking about maybe from 15 years to 25.
Okay, sometimes, you know, alcoholism, especially now in our teens, the age of 15 to maybe 24 or 15 to 20 is triggered mostly by peer pressure right now. You see your friend going out, or you go hang out with your friends, and then they start taking alcohol and they say, let us get some drinks, and they tell you to take it. Hata kama utaki, watakwambia tu you need to take some, at least kidogo tu, and then you'll know the feeling. And I came across something about the dopamine. Let me just read it out. You know, addiction interferes with the normal brain function. When you do something you find enjoyable, whether it's hanging out with your friends or drinking wine, there's something we call the reward system. So this reward system releases a neurotransmitter, the dopamine now, along with other chemicals. So, you know, contrary to the popular belief that dopamine doesn't appear to actually cause those feelings of pleasure, ama euphoria,
Yes.
It reinforces your brain's association between certain things and feelings of pleasure. So it drives you to seek those things out again in the future. And the more the brain releases the dopamine, you need to get more dopamine so that your brain can function. So, and before long, you need to use more of the substance to make up for what your brain is not releasing. Ndio maana unapata like someone can't function without using alcohol. Ndio amezoea.
Kutoa lock.
Yeah, kutoa lock. You get someone to do some work for you, and then in the morning they tell you that sijatoa lock. Na ni ukweli asipotoa lock hataweza kufanya kazi. So but akitoa lock brain tu ina function normally. So our teens mostly ni peer pressure, I could say that, and that's that of that you feel good when you take this thing. You know, I came across someone today and I asked them, what do you really feel when you take alcohol or smoke? They call it shisha or bangi, and they tell me, I take that thing so that I can reduce stress. Yani nikivuta, anasema mimi nikivuta tu stress inaisha, sijui na feel poor, I feel high, but that is what causes them to do that, and I don't think it's right. And also some distractions from work, workloads or stress, psychological reasons, so it drives them to start alcoholism or take alcohol. So I think the most important thing is distracting yourself from those distractions. If you feel that you can't function without alcohol, try something else that is more healthier than alcohol, or try to engage your brain or mind with something else. Just try to do something else that will keep your mind occupied. Yeah.
Like what, Irene?
You can try games. There are a lot of games that you can try to distract you. Like the board games, you can try to learn a lot of them. You can try reading a lot of books. There are a lot of books, self-development books that can help you. You can try doing something you like trying a new hobby. You can try a new hobby. You can hang out with your friends, good friends. They write good friends. And other things, you can take a walk, you can go to the gym, you can exercise, you can do yoga. You can also start meditating. There's something we call meditating. You just learn to meditate. Sit for like 5 minutes, start with even 5 minutes, and you learn. Those are some of the distractions that you can use.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Vincent, if I'll come back to you, what makes the Irene has addressed the young people? Maybe you can address the middle-aged. What makes us get hooked to this alcohol and the substance abuse?
Let me start by going way back from colonialism. I remember these some of the ideologies that we've adopted from the Western culture. Back in our days, we were told that the old folks would do it in the evening and in a proper setup, away from children and all that. But now with the urbanization and with urban migration, I think everything has changed. For example, when we were growing up, we looked up to the people that we looked up, and probably they were working. You could see that their pastime was having drinks out there. And we were like, this looks cool. I mean, when I get money, this is what I'll get myself with. Because it looks like this is someone who is important. We admired the freedom, them having fun. And I think at the back of our minds, we knew that by the time we hit 18 or at an age where you can make a decision by yourself, this is the pastime. And I think with the change of that setup is that our own culture, our traditional culture doesn't have much of pastime.
Yes.
We only have work, and that's it. And you know, our old folk, it was about survival. That means they didn't have time for pastime. Now with urbanization, and rural to urban migration, things change. For example, way back, for an 18, maybe around 15 to 20 years to access alcohol, you'd have to work hard. I mean, there were no pocket money, you are just around your homestead. But nowadays, at 17 years, maybe you've gone to campus, you met new friends, you have a little bit of cash around you, maybe from your parents and all that. And that makes it easy for you to access the easiest pastime. And I would say that we've raised a generation whereby our young ones, and even including us, that we've allowed ourselves to attach ourselves to cheap dopamine. What do I mean by cheap dopamine? By engaging engaging in activities that really disrupt our release of dopamine in our system. Irene has stated that dopamine is released in your system naturally. Let's say, for example, you are playing football. It comes in drip, and then it reaches to a point where maybe at a certain time and at a certain time frame, your body cannot release it anymore. So you feel bored. What do? You now decide to engage on something. So I think it is a whole lot of factors that have changed. The world is changing so fast, and I think we cannot be able to engage to engage with it. So you realize, one, there are few pastimes that we have around, and the ones that are around, they are a bit expensive. Look around for those people, let's say Nairobi, there are not even no play fields anymore. They have been grabbed. So you realize kids are just hanging around. And with that, they are being exposed to this social drinking. Look at the wines and spirit; they are all over. They are in your hood. Maybe you are living in the first floor, down there at the ground floor. You have a wine and spirit. So that tells you that by the time your kids in their transformative stage, this is what is being engraved in their mind. So that means by the time they get a little freedom, they will think that this is the way to spend time, and this is the way to feel nice and be cool and awesome. Another thing is the fear of missing out. Most of our friends are having their hobbies is spending weekend partying, maybe hopping from one city to another, or from one club to another club, and also so you realize that you're the only one, maybe in a group of 3 or 4, and you tend to you end up suffering from I think people call it FOMO, the fear of missing out. So you end up engaging in something that you did not even choose. Lastly, as I finish up, I think 2 weeks back we had this big event at Naivasha. It is a big event. It is a historical event in the sporting world. But the things that got limelight is the partying itself. So basically, we have established a generation that is partying, and I think at some point things are going to blow out of proportion. And this will affect even the generation that is behind us.
Thank you, Vincent, for that. Queen B, you can hear us? Queen B, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Tell us, how do we? Last time you talked about something about
Yes, I can hear you.
Ourselves. How can we now approach? Because we talked about identifying. The signs are clear. How do we approach the addicted people? Queen B? Queen B, can you hear me? Irene?
Yes.
You can hear me? Assuming that you have somebody who is addicted, how do you approach that kind of a person?
Okay, first, you look at the
first
signs.
of all, I'm not sure if you can hear me because I'm having a network problem. So first, I'd like to go back a bit to one of those reasons.
Yes,
I can hear you. Can everybody else hear me?
Continue, Queen B. Queen B, continue.
Guys, can you are we having a network problem, Mama?
Queen B, continue.
Yeah, I was trying to highlight on self-medication.
Yes.
Self-medication has been one of the main reasons why people are using drugs and abusing substances. You know,
Yes.
it all comes down to self-medication. When you say people are saying they are stressed, when people think they are lonely, when people having issues at work, when people want to, you know, people want to have fun, all that comes down to self-medication. That is what you think is right for you, to medicate yourself, to give
Yes.
yourself happiness. So sometimes these drugs may end up feeling like the only escape
Yes.
from the pain and the confusion or the mental illnesses or mental problems that we face. So this self-loathing and escapism that comes
Yes.
with abusing drugs, even if it is prescription drugs or even the alcohol and everything, people use this to deal with real life issues instead of using real life solutions to solve real life issues. You get? So, but when now
Yes.
the pain does not go away, or like by it does not go away, I mean by it will go away when you're high, and when you're
Yes.
sober, then the pain comes back. So you realize people are driven to this to become these fragile humans who are interdependent into these drugs to escape the reality. So this comes down to what I'm saying. We all do these things to self-medicate because we feel like they will make us feel better, you know.
Yes.
We don't believe we can feel good when we are in our normal mental health state. So you are asking me about how to approach someone who is addicted, and I want to highlight again and again, even if it is food addiction, even if you need to show this person that, hey, you need help. The approach should be like to make this person see that they need help. You don't approach this person telling them you need help, because this person might at this point not think it's getting out of hand. You need to show them how this thing is negatively affecting them, because if you approach someone telling them they have a problem, they can get very defensive.
Yeah.
So you need to find a way to approach this person in a way you can make them see that this, you need to be judgmental, you know. At the same point, you know, you need to can any other disease, you know, only that this one you cannot see it coming. At first you will think it is all good times until you find yourself drowning. So I think that will be the first to ensure them that they need help. And the second thing, after this person is now like
Queen B, we lost you.
I think she has issues with the network.
Yeah. Irene,
Yeah.
you can hear me? How do we approach a young person who is addicted?
First, as Queen B was saying, you need to approach a person so delicately. Not just going up to them and confronting them that you're taking alcohol, you need to stop. You know, it just doesn't happen overnight ati umeamka leo umesema I'm not going to drink alcohol again. No.
Yes.
You need to approach them in a manner that shows that you care. If the person was taking maybe a full bottle of alcohol per day, just tell them tomorrow or starting from tomorrow, can you try to drink at least half a bottle?
Yes.
And then that they keep reducing the amount from the full bottle they have, and then at the end hiyo hamu ya kukunywa itaisha tu. First of all, I think a person needs to understand their triggers. What triggers them to take alcohol?
Yes.
Does that trigger come when you're with your friends, when you hang out with your friends, when you go out partying or clubbing? If that is your trigger, then you need to stop hanging out with those types of friends. If hanging out with those types of friends makes you indulge in alcohol, then you need to stop. Understand what triggers you to take alcohol, and then just stop those triggers. Something else, there's something we call breaking the habit loop. So there are 3 distinct components of a habit loop. The first one is the trigger, the one I was talking about, what triggers you to take that alcohol. Then the second one is the routine. You know, maybe you every day you take a bottle or 2 glasses of wine with your friends, or when you get home, or when you order a drink during dinner. That is the routine. What is your routine intake of alcohol? Then the third one, the final one, is the reward. What do you feel when you take alcohol? The pleasure, the better mood, you feel that you're not stressed anymore, or your stress levels are dropping. You need to understand those 3 habits, the habit loop, the trigger, the routine, and then the reward that you get. And once you identify the cues and the routines and the rewards, then you need to stop the cycle and then start a new cycle now, a new routine. If you are taking alcohol, maybe after dinner you are hanging out with your friends and then you take maybe even 5 shots, then you need to stop. If that was your routine, then you need to stop. So after maybe taking dinner, don't hang out with your friends. Just go back home, try watching something or reading something. Yeah.
Thank you, Irene. Zura, you can tell us, have you had any friend who have lost it to alcohol?
Yeah. Who have lost?
Who has lost it to alcohol? Maisha imeenda tu. We can't hear you. Personally, I cannot hear you. Vincent,
kuna hata wamecommit suicide na like can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Saizi mnanisikia? Can you hear me?
Nakusikia.
Yeah, ndio nasema yani to a point that kunao hata wamecommit suicide. Nasema to a point that kunao mpaka wamecommit suicide, of which I really understand them, because mi waambia watu that hata yule mse unaona amecommit suicide, si eti amecommit suicide taka. Hakuna mtu anaweza taka kufika to that point of kucommit suicide. But the moment you see someone close to you is getting addicted to alcohol that haizi control, that means that ye mwenyewe kuna condition ana try kusuppress,
kuficha,
of which it won't turn out well. Kuna kitu ana try kuficha, but sisi kama society tutakuwa like aka kamlevi hizi siku like I think that's why kila mtu ako hapa kwa hii conversation, because we need to break that stigma for society that because tumekuwa na previous discussion na tunaona like the society, the community ndio ina contribute so much to watu kuingia kwa most situations za mental health.
Yes.
I think it's time we looked at how we can break the stigma in the society through advocacy. Juu saizi most people hawajui what's happening. Sisi tuko kwa zile enzi za msee akianza hiyo kulewa hivi until ifike ile point maybe amelazwa au si, ndio tutaanza kuwa concerned. Pesa tutachanga hiyo time. Tutakuwa kama relatives tunashughulika sana kumpeleka kwa the best hospital. But we didn't give this person a space, ndio I express hiyo kitu, maybe ilim lead to excessive alcoholism.
Thank you. Vincent Dhura is saying that when you see somebody...
Back to you, Jane.
Yeah. Vincent Dhura is saying that ukiona mtu ana...
Nimemaliza.
Vincent, you can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Dhura anasema that ukiona mtu ako kwa alcoholism or substance abuse, there is something that this person is
done.
And kuna kitu anajaribu kuficha, tuseme in
Hello, Jane.
And I don't know how
Hello?
do we really identify that thing that mtu anajaribu kuficha.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you, Dhura. Vincent?
Thank you for that opportunity, and Dhura, thank you for your input.
Yes.
I think one is to, let's have a social circle that you can account on, that you are responsible to, that you attach yourself to, and you can always keep in touch with, so that even when things go wrong, they can be able to address the real issues. Because I mean, they're your friends, they know your weaknesses, they know your strength, they know what you're going through. But I think we have an issue with fake it till you make it mentality, whereby we are putting on a brave face out there, where else things are going south in reality. And I think as Dhura has said, is that social drinking has been made as an escapism, or to numb the real feelings. But remember, you are a human being with emotions. There are times emotions are meant to be released, or to be communicated, or to be interacted with fellow human beings. So start with understanding that you are a human being. At times you will be low, at times you will be high, at times you're just in a position that they do not understand what is going on. Accept what you can be able to accept, and I think also play your role 100% as you should be. Because for example, many people fall into alcoholism maybe due to bad financial management.
Yeah. One,
you ought to understand that you have a responsibility to each and every God-given gift, be it a work, be it a family, be it a wife and kids. You are responsible to a higher authority. So you need to be accountable to them. So when it comes to each and every decision that you're making, just remember that you're not the only one. Your life affects directly their family members, their loved one, there's their colleagues. It is a whole ecosystem. So I think we need also to start with personal responsibility. And in this context, I'm not referring to the addict. Remember them, they're in a pit.
Yes.
But I think what we are saying is that when you have a social setup that is above average, whereby you can be able to highlight the blind spot of each and every individual. From there, you can be able to work with someone when things go wrong, because you know them, you've been friends for years. You know when they are when they are okay, when they are doing well financially. We just need to be open with each other, so that now we can be able to move to the next level, and we can be able to stretch ourselves up to the limit. But if you're going to have fake friends and fake like things are okay, I have an issue with my partner, and we are just putting on a breakfast, and this, we don't mean that, of course, you go out there exposing everything. But I think there are those 3, 4, 5 friends that you can count on and that you can trust with the information that you give them. Yeah.
I think, Vincent, something is coming up. So I don't know how to really put it, but there's something that is coming up so strongly about friends. And maybe in a few minutes, Irene, friends, peer pressure is about friends. What type of friends actually should we keep, if I would ask that?
Okay.
Who should we consider a friend? There are many types of friends. Colleagues are friends. Business partners are friends. People that you went to school with, because something is coming up on friends. My bestie.
Yeah, I think a friend is someone who will tell you, whatever you are doing is not right. You need to stop. Whether they will hate you or not, you need to be straight with them and tell them, Irene, whatever you're doing is not right. And as a friend, I will not stand to see you destroy yourself. There's something Vincent has talked about the social groups. Nowadays, someone will not even just walking up to someone and telling them, if there's anything you need to talk about, you can talk to me. There's an issue of trust, especially with friends.
It's true.
You just cannot open up to someone, because even people are so judgmental nowadays. You hear someone saying, huyo ni mlevi, hata vile alianza hata hizi acha, huyo hizi saidika, huyo sijui nini, those type of friends. So I think for the teens, even when you tell parents to talk to their teens, some of them will not even listen. Even friends, they'll not even listen to their friends. So I think connecting them with someone who has been there, someone who has been an alcoholic but came out of it and is now coping well or doing well, is so important. Or linking them up with someone like therapist, I think it can really help them. Yeah, there's someone, a friend of mine, he calls himself Richard Ruati. I think you can, anyone struggling with alcohol addiction, you can find them on Facebook. Their page is called Alcohol Free with Sober Richard Ruati.
Okay.
He has really helped a lot of people, especially those alcoholics. So yeah, linking up with someone who has been where you are is so important for now.
Okay. Thank you, Irene. Queen B, you can hear me? Queen B?
Yes, I can hear you.
We wanted to know who are the friends, because friendship has come up so strongly in the issue about alcohol and substance abuse. Who are the really good friends? And I would ask, who is this person that we can trust, the confident? Naenda namwambia, maybe this is an issue I have, MBCD, and she or he remains a confidant to me, and we talk about issues. And he or she tells me, Jane, ukipitia hapa, sioni.
Yeah, well, I think people should know that friendship is a very strong word. That is because there are those people that we call friends and they are not our friends. Those are people we just know. So we need to differentiate between friends and people we just know. We need to be able to rank our friends as per their contribution to our lives.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to repeat that by saying we need to rank people as per the contribution they bring to our lives. By saying this, what I mean is you need to know if these are my drinking friends, they are my drinking friends. And they are not going to come through if I need them. If I'm in trouble, I know they will never come through. This, I'm just going to meet them at the bar and we're going to have a drink. There are those people who you're going to meet on the road. You say hi to them just because you know them, but by the time you turn your back, they are busy talking about you. Those are people you just know, people who you might consider as friends. And then you have those friends who are actually your friends, people who actually wish you good and success, people who want to see you win because they discover your winning as theirs. Those friends who will say when one of us succeeds, it's like all of us have succeeded. So you need to be able to rank your friends as per the contribution they're bringing into your life. We need to be able to cut off the dead weight also in our lives, because we find ourselves carrying a lot of dead weight. By dead weight are those people that we know who are not our friends, because why would you have drinking friends who are just going to come to your burial to drink again and find another reason to drink? You know, you need friends who are going to tell you now, hii wiki tusikunywe, tufanye tamaa, you know. Instead of hii pesa yote tunakunywa, tuanzishe chama, tufanye biashara ya friends pamoja, you know. You need to be able to want people who build you around you, because at the end of the day, the choice is yours. The choice is yours to choose and pick those friends. So you have to be very strict about the people you keep around you. And it all still brings us back to what I highlighted by saying, this all comes down or boils down to you as a person. How do you want to set things? How do you want people around you to influence you? Because you don't want people who are going to break you. But again, I still face the fact that there are people who there are people who just generally want people around them. Doesn't matter what type of people, they are just very friendly and they just want people around them.
Yeah,
remember, these people that you want around you, yes, and remember, you don't know who you're bringing close to you, because you didn't take time to know this person personally. Because if you know someone personally, then you will tell that this person is going to influence me in a certain kind of way. You see, like even in Nairobi, let me give you a scenario of even what we are discussing.
Yes.
There is the five guys who are found in Kijabe. Let me tell you, you'll be surprised that there were those who were there by default. They were not supposed to be part of the crew that maybe was murdered, but they just happened to be there being influenced, or maybe they were just having you don't, so you end up, you think you know this person who you call your friend, but you don't know what they are actually into, and they might actually land you in trouble. So you need to be very, very choosy and picky to the people you let close to you, because these are the people who either build you or break you. And at the end of the day, we also hear a saying that says, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. They say, show me 5 of your friends and I'll give you an average of the person that you are. So like we need really to consider the people we let close to us.
Thank you, Queen B. That was good. Yes, Vincent.
Before my network, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Queen B.
I was just going to highlight on a few treatments of. I just wanted to highlight on a few treatments of addiction, but we can just close everything up with it. I'll sum it up as I close. Continue.
Okay. It's okay. Vincent?
This issue of friendship, I think I mentioned sometimes back, I think around 2015, 2016 there, I went through depression.
Yes.
And to be honest, I thank God that I went through that, because it was a situation that refined me and whom I am today. Because in the process of losing weight, I also lost friends. But I realized they were not even friends. They were just acquaintances. Some were colleagues. Some are just people we met randomly. There was nothing that was going on. I wasn't adding any value to their lives. Neither were they adding value to my life. And I lost them along the way. But from there, I'm very critical when it comes to interacting with each and every individual. We'll say hi and we'll do so many other things, but I'll not consider you as a friend if I find that we don't connect in any element. And by this, I won't blame the friends. I'll blame the individual. And I think as an individual, we ought to have values. We ought to have principles. We ought to be a person of character so that we can be able to attract your like and your kind. Because you cannot be complaining about your friends and yet you are attracting the same kind. And I think this cuts across even to a relationship. You cannot be arguing and maybe complaining of the people that you are attracting. The question is, who are you? And I think from there, we can be able to know what kind of friends you want. And I think there are different friends. There are people who will meet by virtue of business. There are people that are going to meet by virtue of where you work. There are people you are going to interact with by virtue of so many things. The question is, who is this you're calling your friend? Are you confident with them? Do you feel that they add value? Do they challenge you to be a better version of yourself? I think the question is even with you as an individual, not the entire colleagues. If colleagues are if friends are influencing you, maybe to party whole night, whole weekend, you forget about your family. Those are not your friends. Those are enemies from within. And trust me, what basically you are doing, you are self-sabotaging yourself.
Thank you, Vincent, for that. Irene, you have something about friends?
Just to add on what Vincent is saying,
yes,
I think it all narrows down to the person themselves.
Yes.
The art of discipline mostly. You know, there's someone who can go out, hang out with friends, and the friends take alcohol, but he or she cannot even touch it. Discipline. It all narrows down to discipline. And something else, just to let people know that you're not alone. You can talk to someone. You can talk to a therapist. You can talk to a psychologist. You can talk to a counselor. You can talk to a mental health coach. You can talk to anyone that you trust. And also you can try joining the social groups.
Yes.
And the recovery groups. And also choose your friends wisely, especially the teens now. Choose your friends wisely, those friends that build you, those friends that show you the right way, those friends that tell you what is wrong, what is right. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Irene. I think on friends, you come to realize who are your friends, who are your confidants, who are your colleagues, acquaintances as life moves on. Because at NG 40 plus, this is the time now we are seeing that wow, and carried so much baggage. I just need one confidant. That is she or he is enough, and the others could be baggage. Maybe they are colleagues, neighbors. All those they're still friends because we know them, but it is about who we are. One person said that if you keep two things, that is the honey and the garbage, of course, honey will attract bees, and the garbage will attract what? Flies.
Right.
So it is actually us, not them. It's about us and not them. Queen Bee, I will come back to you. There's something you were talking about. You wanted to sum up on I never got you well. Queen Bee, you can hear me? Queen Bee, you can hear me? You wanted to sum up on something. Queen Bee? Well, Zura, unasikia?
Nimewasikia. Alafu nauliza.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Unauliza story ya
I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Tunakusikia Queen B.
Can you hear me?
Queen B, we
Yeah,
can
let
hear you.
me I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Let's give a chance to
We
Dhura.
can hear you.
Hello.
Tupe Dhura chance. Dhura.
Aya, sasa umesema story until uko 40s ndio utarealize una carry baggage kubwa ya wase. So the question is, Said, how do we educate this young generation that our mabeshte, yani how to choose friends? And cause nakumbuka like kila mtu akisoma alikuwa anaambiwa utatoka kwa ile gate peke yako. Unafanya hivi peke yako. Maisha utakula peke yako. But it's with time that mtu realize that ako peke yake, unaona? But at young age, I think about choosing friends, the society, especially the parents, wako na responsibility kubwa sana ya kufunza mtoi kutoka akiwa myang.
Yes.
Yeah. That in this life unafaa kuwa I am, yani unafaa kujimanifestia your own life, because the moment include other people in your life itakuwa burden. So as those fake friends come kwa life yake, maybe ataweza kuidentify na kuchoose the friends wisely, because nayo huwezi chuzia mtoi ama anyone friends.
Ni kweli. Yes. Maybe Vincent, maybe you can handle what Dhura nauliza. Is it true that it is at maybe 40 or so that we discover who we are and who our friends are? That was my opinion.
I would say actually it is not that I'm almost hitting there.
Yes.
But I think as of now, I will not have to wait up to when I'm 40. Basically, it is at this point you've gone through a lot in life.
Yeah.
You've matured, you've aged well, like some fine wine. At some point, you are like, you know what? You cannot force someone to be in your life.
Yes.
And I think there's so much that is ahead of you. There's so much that you are carrying. Your kids are teenagers. You are paying school fees to 3 or 4 kids, some to university. You don't have time to babysit an adult. So at times you don't just give a hoot whether they are with you or not. You are working with those who want to work. And I think at this level, you expect everyone to be at the same maturity level. So it's not like the young, the teenagers and the early 20s, whereby you don't even know what you want. You are still in your identity crisis. So you don't know what to. But in your 40s, pale umefika hata umeiva, you know what you want, and there's so much focus there. I mean, there's a destiny ahead of you. There are kids that need to be raised. There are kids that need to be schooled. So you don't have time to waste with friends who are dragging you behind. And my formula has always been, you'd rather have a friendship of around 5 people that you're working on the same pace and the same page, rather having 20 friends and basically you are dragging them. Trust me, they will at some point, that weight will be too much for you, and they'll go down with you. And I think at the end of the day, as history will be very unfair to you, because your kids will not care what kind of your friends that you had. The vision and the destiny that is ahead of you will not care the kind of friends that you kept. The question is, were you ready for the circumstances that were there at that particular point?
Wow, that is good. That is good. Thank you. Queen Big, you can hear us now? Queen B.
Queen B leo network imemcheza.
I don't know, Dhura, labda next time we talk, the issue of friends is coming, inakuja so strongly with the alcohol, mental health. You know, it is still the friends that identify. Wale mnakaa karibu na hao ndio wanasema sasa Dhura amebadilika. Unanisikia?
Hata nikiangalia pale from the comments, yeah?
Yes.
Naona Kinya Evelyn anasema this is a great conversation. Iko very educative. Then there is Judy Duo anasema the discussion is very important. Na asanteni ana watch from County 21. Kuna so many people actually are liking whatever we are discussing. That means ni vitu wanapitia na maybe hawajapata hiyo space ya kuziongea. But the issue with friends is ni kitu ni hard to explain because the society we have to first break the stigma in the society juu among our mabeshte zako kuna sometimes like when we say choose your friends, unapata huyo beshte yako pia kuna vitu anapitia. He is going through a lot kwa life, unaona? Yes, he is toxic, but there's something, there's a way that unaweza msaidia. Huwezi sema like keep off the friend juu hata Queen B alisema hao ndio watu watakam hapo siku ya mazishi wakunywa hiyo pombe nini. Sasa like utapata to some point unaweza jiblame for uliachana na huyu msee alafu akacommit suicide nini. Like hiyo issue I don't know vile tunaweza approach unless tusaidiane na advocacy kama vile tunadu saa hizi. Like we have to tell people that easy issues za mental health ziko in between sisi. Watu wajue hivyo kwanza.
Yes.
Because it's a challenge.
It is a
friends challenge. You can't blame it on friends because we still have to live in with love others. To live together. But si unaelewa kuna watu introverts, kuna extroverts. So yani people are different na tukiangalia na hiyo ango ya kucheck off the toxic friends. Okay, it's advisable but on the point of view, what if huyu beshte yako ni wewe unaweza msaidia?
Thank you Dhura. I think because of time we have Irene, maybe a parting shot. Irene,
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Just to say, I think the friends thing should be a topic itself.
Thank you.
Because it's so broad. But as I've just said, no one is alone. You can talk to someone. Yes. There's always someone you can talk to. There's always someone who is there to offer you the help that you need. Maybe professionally or something else. Just talk to someone. Watu wasinyamaze.
Thank you, Irene. Vincent?
One, I'm grateful to be in this platform where we are discussing the real issues. And I'm humbled and I feel it's an honor and it's a privilege that I'm part of this conversation. That it's biased for us. You know, many other times, and I'm sorry, and I'll say this with lots of humility and respect to the motivational speakers. You realize people come with so much and they tell us that we need to do this, we need to do this. But you realize them, they're not living that life. They're basically preaching water, but they're drinking wine. But this conversation, it's about us and for us. We are not saying that we have the solution to all these issues, but you are saying, you know what? Let's have a conversation. Let's discuss. Let's highlight. Even God Himself in the book of Isaiah, He says, "Come and we reason together." this is what we are doing. So I think we are in the right mandate. We are doing the right thing, and I'm calling out everyone out there. Let's join hands. There are real issues, and these issues are not meant to scare us. They are meant to redefine us. Just as gold is defined by a high voltage, we also need to be defined by these things. So they are not meant to destroy us. But when we hold hands and we work together, and I don't think we've been called to be the same, but we are called to rise up to the occasion. I think that's my parting shot.
Thank you, Irene. Thank you, Vincent. I would say that I think the topic is quite broad, very, very broad. We can always we cannot exhaust it anyway. And I would say that in case anybody is struggling, I'm always available. I'm just a phone call away. I can always be of help. Thank you so much. Thura, kwako, ndio tufungie.
Okay, I can see Kagai Daniel Joseph. Asante sana kwa kuwa part of the conversation. Kuna madam anaitwa Judith Duo, anasema it's a very important point that when the children are young, tunafaa ku have conversations now ndio to prepare to the for the tough world. Honestly, some parents shy away from kuongea na watoi wao about the real things zenye zina affect. Tunacheki kama hapa si tumejipea safe space yenye tunaweza ongea about what's affecting us, chenye tunapitia, because there's a lot going on. Alafu nacheki pale kuna msanii wa Ramareking anasema what you are doing is nice, na nateki hii opportunity kuthank kila mse mwenye amekuwa part of this great conversation. Apart from the great conversation, Ikokay is a platform for everyone. The platform is Cheki Tubonge, and that's what we are doing. We want to create a safe space yenye tutakam hapa kama mayouths, kama human beings, kama mothers, fathers, to discuss about everything that's going on in our society, because I believe most mental health issues ziko connected na most people kukosa the safe space ya kuji-express. Inafika point that una feel uko alone, una feel like the world is not for you. So it's upon sisi na everyone who is watching out there, everyone in this society, that to realize that there's a lot going on. Let's be kind to each other, tupeane hiyo safe space, because despite these issues zote za mental health data tukiziongea zita end up that talk to someone. Irene said talk to someone, sindio? But who is that someone? That someone ni mtu kama mimi, sindio? But kama mimi niko hostile kwa mwenzangu, then hatutasaidiana, there will be no way out. But the moment we as humans to realize that tuna owe each other that listening here, ukichapiwa story na mse, just help him out. Usiende ukisema huyu ako na hii noma nini, because I believe hata most suicide cases ni mtu anafika point that feel that there is no one. Alafu after medate ndio kila mse anasema na siangekuja kwangu anabonga. Honestly, yani tuongee ukweli, society iko tuko hivyo, si ndio?
Ni kweli.
So hizi discussion tutaendelea kuzihave every time, but you as a human being, we una feel ni kama msee akiwa na noma yenye ana feel like it's the end of the world, unaweza muaccommodate, umpatie a reason to live another day, you as a human being. See to sema talk to someone. Who is that someone? Today msee akikuja kuambia kona noma, can you help him out? Hata kama uwezi, unaweza mwambia kuna Irene hapa ni life coach, enda pale Facebook hope for repose. Utamwambia kuna Vincent najua hapa anaweza make call, muongee nini. Unaweza mwambia kuna counselor hapa Madam Jane, unaweza call. Like sisi kama human beings tuna expect that msee kuja for help ni pesa anataka, so unamshut down. Ama ni aje?
It's true, ni kweli.
Yani most people are saying that msee kwambie niko na noma,
yeah,
hiyo noma ni do, but wewe usha block ukajiambia mimi siwezi saidia huyu mtu. But maybe ukimwambia I know a life coach, naweza kulink up na yeye muongee, unaona? Like hapo umesaidia. Ukiona msee amekuja kwako, like ujiulize mbona amekuja kwangu. There are so many people in this world, but mbona msee amekuja kwako? So kitu naweza waambia anyone who is watching, just be kind to each other. Life si rahisi, and be that someone who someone can come and tell something that me life I need someone to talk to na accommodate. Alafu if Mungai pale kuona very insightful, the conversation out, let's keep the conversation out there, that vile Robidela na hapa anasema it's always okay not to be okay, and your mental health matters. I hope you say like will in our lifetime tutaishi ku have this conversation every Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Ikokay.